Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And a lot has happened since the last video, which was that Polar Express one with my kiddo and Lindsay and Sadie. That was such a nice evening. I got far too emotional, but it's one of those Christmas memories that I probably have for the rest of my life now. And big thank you again to my cousin for inviting us on that little endeavor. And I'm glad that I was able to do that because, like I said, that was the last time I filmed, and that was 3 nights ago. And I just needed some downtime after what happened. So I'm not trying to make it too theatrical. Basically, I went to leave the next day because I had Brooklyn overnight, and I went to take her back to her mom's the next day. Staying at a hotel, obviously, and I was keeping Lucky nice and warm by keeping the diesel heater running on low. If you missed my video before the last, I talked about how I was having some issues with that, with it venting back into the cab, and I had to actually replace my exhaust pipe and my air intake hose, and it seemed like everything had been fixed. So Lucky had been sitting in the parking lot for a night or so at that point, keeping the heater going, keeping it feeling like a home inside. And I went to check. I opened the door to Lucky to get something out after I'd loaded Brooklyn into Grace. And as soon as I opened the door, I was just hit in the face with exhaust fumes, diesel exhaust fumes. And lo and behold, I look into the cab and all you can see is exhaust haze. It looked like somebody was having a rave in Lucky that wasn't any fun. And it just stunk. Like, I then looked at the monitor for my diesel heater. I realized it had gotten an error 8 again, which means flame out. Although this time, Lucky hadn't been in motion, so that's weird. At least it had turned itself off, and thank goodness Penny was in the hotel here, and of course I and my daughter were in the hotel. Scary stuff when that happens, and Lucky absolutely reeks. I said, to hell with this. I've got stuff to do. I cannot be bothered. I was in a very fortunate situation of having the hotel. Obviously, I still have the hotel a couple days on, and I just went about my day. And then when I got back later that night, after dropping my kiddo off, I tried firing the diesel heater up again, and nothing. It tried to start up, spewed nothing but white smoke, and then error it out again with error 8. So something's going on in there. It's very frustrating because it was working and Lucky did not move. There was no change in location or anything. So all of a sudden it errors out. That's very disheartening, very frustrating, and scary at the end of the day, right? You don't want to be inside when that happens. Although with an O2 monitor or CO2 detector or whatever, and your nose, you would notice it quite quickly. But that's not exactly how you would want to be woken up in the middle of the night. So yeah, this stuff always happens when the weather is cold outside, but that makes sense because that's when you're using these diesel heaters. So my plan today is I'm gonna finally tackle this situation. I'm still, like I said, in the hotel, so I have this, which is great. There's a lot of laundry has to get done. That's what I like about this hotel, is that it has laundromat inside, $3 per load. Well, $3 wash, $3 dry, because everything in Lucky just reeks of diesel fumes. It's just horrible. And then I'm gonna get that diesel heater out of there and crack it open and see what it looks like inside, because it's behaving like it's gummed up or something. It's very strange. I don't know why it would be doing that. I've been running seafoam through it. Obviously that's been doing no good. I was told that was a surefire way to keep it clean, but not in my, well, maybe it's clean, maybe it's something else. The only other thing I could possibly think that it might be is that the new air filter that I put on had like more foam filter inside the housing, so maybe it was restricting that fresh airflow somehow, which makes no sense because it turned on and operated fine for an entire night that I actually spent in it after it had initially broken. Either way, that's what's going on here now. I'm going to stop rambling in this talking head format, and we're gonna get out there and we're gonna tackle this situation head on. And I'm also going to be redoing my whole setup with the way my heater is installed, but we'll talk about that when we're a little bit more up close and personal with the bane of a Vanlifer, the Chinese diesel heater. Let's do it. See you on the other side, Penny. Stay nice and warm. was just the brake controller for Grace deciding to freak out. Okay. Okay, well, first things first, I didn't have the coffee creamer I like in there, so what we got in here? Yeah, that'll do. It's just so cold and sad and lucky. This is nothing compared to what she was like last Christmas, actually, right around the same time when she froze. We had much worse temperatures, but she's just so cold and frigid in here. Should have gotten a space heater from my cousin's garage, but first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fire her up and let her run for a bit, fill the cab with some heat. I'm gonna have to strip off all of the bedding. All of that's gonna have to go into the laundry, and then the weighted blanket, I guess maybe we'll rip it over to the laundromat, because I'm sure it's not gonna smell very good either. At least she fires right up. That's a good thing. It's just so cold in here, man. All right. Well, at least we got shore power to keep all the batteries and everything sort of topped up in here. That's one other good thing, another reason I extended my stay. Another thing I'm going to do is, if you're unfamiliar with my setup, I actually, the way I installed my Chinese diesel heater. I modeled it after what Simon over at Foresty Forest did, and I actually had my unit raised up off of the floor of the van so that the connections for the exhaust pipe and the air intake pipe are on the inside of the van so that they're easier to undo and you don't have to crawl around on the ground. I'm done with that setup. Now, I don't know 100% if that's where the exhausting into the cab came from, or whether or not there's some other sort of internal problem with the unit that was causing it. But I'm gonna start with that, and I'm gonna get a hole saw, and we're gonna drill like a 5-inch hole in the floor of Lucky, and we're gonna sink the unit right down. Now, I'm hoping to be able to get this unit cleaned out and functioning properly, because up until right now, it actually has been doing very well. The only other issue I had with it is that the bearing in the original fan went, and that was earlier this year, and I was able to replace it with a new fan, and everything ran smoothly. One of my subscribers, Vernon, actually went out of his way to order me a diesel heater unprompted, just because I was having those initial issues with mine. So worst case scenario, I guess I can just slap a new unit in there. And obviously I will do that if I can't get this one to work, but I do hope that I can get this current one fixed. So fingers crossed. But as for right now, yeah, I think I'm just gonna strip the bed, and we'll start with that. I'm yapping away talking about how cold it is in here, and I'm dressed like it's bloody autumn still. Ow. Let's get this heated vest on and operational. Power on. Excellent. And I'm gonna have to replace the chapeau, because the baseball hat is just no bueno right now. No bueno. All right, let's move all these pillows back to the front of the cab. Feel like I just did this. Because I did. Oh, at least the nice big cargo van engine is heating up fairly quickly. I already feel nice hot air coming through those vents. Hi. Oh no, I wonder if the bag of flannels is gonna stink. Oh good. Let's get this blanket off. It really sucks too, because this is the new mattress. I only got to sleep on it like once or twice before this all happened. Oh well, it happens. Can't dwell on the little negative crap too much. That being said, it's also completely okay to enthusiastically bitch about bad luck, because it's not fun. We all experience it. So bitch away if you need to. Lord knows I have. And fold this up. Yeah, there we go. Now, the question now is this gonna fit this way from driver's door to passenger door in the front? I don't know. Might just have to shoot right up the middle. It might be too long. Let me find out. Sure, this is completely normal. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna fit lengthwise or crossways wise. I definitely have enough room to move around back there right now, but the bigger problem is shuffling around. I guess I could try to just stick her in Grace. That might be the better option. She definitely will not fit in Grace. No way. I shouldn't say no way. I can make it work if I wanted to, but Brooklyn's car seat's in there right now. I am gonna have to pick her up with Grace later. I don't want to cause myself any more future headache. So for present headache, I guess I'll just try to schlep the mattress up to the hotel room. I mean, not the most ideal because I gotta hoof it up some stairs, but it's better than being a pain in my butt in the van. Okay, take care of the mattress, Penny. See you in a little bit. All right, 1 hour on the clock for the dryer. I'm not gonna put the linens on yet because chances are I might find more clothes that stink. So I think for now, while Lucky's warming up, I'm gonna grab that weighted blanket and get it over the laundromat. Plus that'll give me time to go over to Home Depot and get the hole saw that I know I'm inevitably going to need. But before I do that, I gotta figure out if I've got the little drill bit that connects to the hole saw. And that, if I do have it, is up there. Feels like I'm camping. Let's not fall off the ladder. All right, so we need the drill, and that looks like, yeah, so this black part here is what I'm gonna need. And take that with me to Home Depot and make sure it fits in the hole saw. That's a hell of a lot bigger than this one. So this thing just pops out of there and it unscrews this. Bada bing, bada boom, no muss, no fuss. Now let's schlep this all back up into the, well actually I'm gonna have to put this away after. We'll keep the tool bag in Lucky for now. Okay, weighted blanket. Okay. Chilly, 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 chilly. Well, I can already tell this is gonna take a toll on my back because it already is. So, I'm glad I'm here for a couple days because this may have to be a multiple day project. That's okay. Better to be safe and warm than unsafe and cold. Okay, get rid of the heavy ass blanket. Come here, you. it will be ready Thursday after 4 p.m. So that's good. That another reason why being in the hotel works out well. I'm glad I got here when I did. Chances are I may be checking out on Thursday, God willing. So that'll work out nice to get the blanket back in the tiny home on wheels. Since I'm here, I guess I'll rip over to my mailbox, grab some mail that's been piling up. And I do need to get Penny a new cat treat because I'm pretty sure her little pizza is probably a diesel pizza. Move all of Grace's tow equipment to the back seat. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need a nap after this. All right, all loaded up, and yeah, I even got Penny's overstock of litter in here. It's been in here, well, since shit hit the fan, let's say. Let's get a hole saw. All right, so I opened up that new heater that Vernon sent so I can have the size of where the exhaust ports come out to measure against the hole saw. So we're just gonna schlep the diesel heater into the orange store.
Would you like an e-receipt? Thank you for shopping.
All right, I went with the 4.5. It fits right over that entire like sort of protruding section on the bottom of the heater. And I always forget that there's a plate that actually attaches to the bottom of the heater there. And that's what gives you your 4 like mounting points to keep it, you know, sturdy to the vehicle that you're installing it in. That kind of throws me off when I'm trying to envision that in like a 3D space and how it's all going to work. But I still think I would need this big of a hole just to make sure that it sort of allows both the exhaust and the intake and the fuel line to go through the floor. I'm also going to have to cut a bigger hole in my wheel well. This project will more than likely spill over into tomorrow. That's okay. I do need to make sure that I'm pacing myself. I don't want to put myself into a lot of discomfort as I'm going to have my little girl overnight tonight. Just to sort of make up for the fact that I didn't have her yesterday. Okay. Tally freaking ho. Back to Lucky we go. Whew. Always something to do. Hello, Lucky. Good timing as well. Just under 2 minutes left on that drying cycle. So we'll go put those clothes away first and sort of unwind. Unwind from what? I need to use the bathroom. Actually, yeah, back in Lucky here real quick. I got the linens in here. And I got all these clothes that sit in these in this hanging cabinet over here by the bed. I'm sure everything in here stinks. This is a lot of underwear and socks. So we're gonna bring all this in and wash it as well. Just sort of get ahead of the game as much as possible. I did get lucky that everything in my overhead hanging cabinets here, up here, so you know where the flannels are, that all seems to be fairly airtight. I got a flannel out of there yesterday and it did not stink, so yay. All right, let me get all this ginch into the bag and get it into the laundry machine. Oh, what a time to be alive. The lingering smell of diesel is just bloody everywhere in here. I bet I am gonna have to wash that other bag. Probably that blanket as well. Oh, hello, darling. How are you? I got a surprise for you. Oh, you betcha. You ready? Okay, hang on. Come here. Look at this. This guy. Got a new catnip toy. I don't know if you like it as much as your pizza, but it's all they had. I know it doesn't crinkle quite as much, but let's see here. Hang on. Oh, I know. You smell the catnip? I'm glad you're liking it right now. All right, Tubbers, I got some clothes to fold. You enjoy your new toy. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Whoa, good girl. So, this is kind of like what my closet would look like with Dixon's in it if it was a sticks and bricks style closet. This is kind of cool. Oh, I know. You got your toy? You down here now, huh? Good girl. Okay, I got a few minutes still before that new load of laundry is done. I figured I'd just take this downtime and get it into the dryer before I go back outside to Lucky and actually start cracking away at the diesel heater. I got a couple things in the mail here, a couple packages that are still in Grace, but I also got some nice, what we call this, letter mail. This one says, thought the little people nugget would like the crazy picture from one Aussie's adventure. So all the way from the land down under. Can't really see it on the camera, I guess. Well, a little bit. Yeah, it's one of those changing photos. There you go. That looks kind of cool, huh? I don't know why I'm moving in the chair while I do it. I could just do this. But very, very cool. Thank you so much. We'll definitely give that to Brooklyn later and see how she likes it. And we got a couple letters here. Letters or cards? Oh, this one's a card. This one is a Christmas card, oh, with a very nice inscription in it from Esther, Ezekiel, Ruth, Glory, Judah, and Hannah, also known as Jeannie Abby on YouTube. Thank you very much for the card. I appreciate that. Not at all, my dear. Your words are so kind. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Going around the long way, they got a maintenance guy working on that little man door that's right by Grace there. It's okay. Temperatures have come up outside, which is really nice. It means it won't be so painfully cold if I do have to get on the ground. Not if, when. Although, tomorrow's looking like it's gonna have even nicer temperatures. So again, in the interest of pacing myself, we're gonna play this by ear and just see how far we can get. But the first step is to get the bed folded up and get that diesel heater out of the floor. Let's go take a close-up look at my setup. All right, get some light going on in here. And the first thing I gotta do is move that ladder, move the blankets. I already got that big laundry bag full of Dixon's into the cab. I think the only thing that's right under the bed right now is my VTOMAN, because like I pointed out earlier, the litter box, or like the overflow litter, is in Grace, and my go bag is in the hotel. So let's just get those couple things moved. after I remove this flannel, because Lucky's been running for a hot minute, it once again feels like a home in here. I guess worst case scenario with these temperatures, if I had to, I could just run Lucky. Although, engine idle hours, not the best. All right, let's see how well this works. Ooh. Hold the bed open. Okay, and then slider closed. Excellent. Okay, that's the hard part. That was the most difficult thing to do that night when Amber and I were messing around with it the first time because we couldn't get rid of the mattress. So this thing kept sliding forward and making life real difficult. So we got to go under here. Come with me, won't you? All right, so this is my setup here. This is fallen off. That needs to be tightened, obviously, but this whole thing will just come out. And that's where the hot air comes out when it is working. That's already loose. Open this panel up here to reveal my diesel heater. Yikes. All right, get some light on the situation down here. And this is what I was talking about with the way I sort of designed this after Foresty Forest. So it's raised up on these pieces of wood so that the attachments underneath are easy to access on the inside of the cab. The way it's mounted right now is it's just attached to this block of wood with these two screws right here. And there's another one at the back with just one screw in it, and it holds the unit nice and solid. Unfortunately, the unit doesn't work. So let's get this out of here, and then we start by removing 1, 2, and a third screw back there. You can't see it, you just sort of have to feel around for it. Everybody just calm down. The main living space of Lucky may be nice and warm, but it's quite chilly down here on the floor. And also, I will inevitably be getting diesel all over my hands. So no. To that I say, nay. Get the bits that we need. Is this the one? That's the one, and I need an extension. Yeah. Here we go. It's like I was just doing this. All right, so I'm gonna start with the one at the back because it's the most difficult one to do. There's no way around it, just the way I installed this bloody heater. You just have to feel around, find the tip, and get the drill on it. And zip zap zoop. And she's out. And that is, where is it? Ooh, that guy right there. All right, so that's one. And take out these ones. Okay, so those are all out, and I'll loosen off this hose clamp here as well. There we go. Now, don't know how easy this is going to be to see. Not really. Suppose I should get rid of this mounting bolt as well. This one over here just holds this piece of wood to the floor of Lucky. This ain't a night. Okay, get that big bastard out of there. Wow. Then we can remove this. Yuck. Okay, so underneath here, all that red stuff is high temp gasket maker. That's how I was using to kind of seal up the hole. Obviously, I'm gonna have to try to clean all that off now. I can't really get the camera under here. It's too, yeah, I can't even get this at a good angle. But up in here's a hose clamp that holds the exhaust on. There's one that holds this fuel line, the little tiny yellow straw looking thing you see. And then there's another one that holds the black air intake on. So I gotta take all three of those off, and then I should be able to get this unit the heck out of here. So let me do that, and we'll be right back. I'm really reefing on this freaking thing. Okay, I may have to go outside and tug on the exhaust pipe, because I don't know that I'm gonna be able to get it off at this angle. So we'll give this a little bit of resistance, and we'll put our shoes on and go outside. Solid black Dixon is quite nice. I wore it to a funeral yesterday. Don't really want to get it all scuffed up on the ground, so we'll put on we'll put on this one, which is the one that I was using the last time. It was crawling around on the ground under Lucky. And I thought I had hit record. I'm not getting back on my back again on this ground, but I got the exhaust pipe free. Here it is. Covered in more of that high temp gasket maker. So now we're gonna go back into Lucky and get that heater out. Some days I could really use a cameraman. That's all right. It comes along with the inevitable task of filming yourself. Okay. Shoes off in the tiny home. All right, let's see if I can get this. Yeah, there we go. Now she's nice and free. We just have the fuel line still attached. So that'll be the next thing to take off. Sorry, not really showing it to the camera. Just the fuel line left, but that gives us lots of range of motion. Wanes of motion? Range of motion. Get this frickin' thing free from its shackles. Okay. All right, so let's unplug this first and foremost. It's the main power connection to the unit. Okay. Now we just got to get this guy off. Turn this around. All right. Yikes. So get this off. Oh yeah, look at the exhaust port. It's just caked with shit. Wow, this heater was working no problems, and now all of a sudden it's just disgusting. All right, well, let's see if we can, yep, there's a little bit of diesel there. Let's wrap that in paper towel. Get this off of there, and let's get this on the table. All right, so that is the exhaust port. That is looking absolutely terrible. I've never seen this unit caked up that badly. I never run this heater on low, so that's interesting. And that's just the exhaust port. Makes me curious what the inside of the body's gonna look like. Probably quite nasty. So, first things first, let's take this off. Ugh. You know what? I should probably put some paper towel down on this before I start yarding this apart. Yikes! Like a little workstation in Lucky here. I was considering like just staying warm and taking the unit into the hotel and putting down, you know, like newspaper so I can, you know, keep the furniture clean and whatnot. It's warm enough in Lucky right now. I don't want to risk getting a whole bunch of schmutz inside the hotel. It just seems like it might come off a little ignorant. I mean, if it was minus 40 right now, I would probably have a different opinion, but okay. It's been a while since I've been in here. Here's the inside with the cover off over here. There's my little repair job on my glow plug wire. I suppose I could replace the glow plug. Who knows, this might be part of the problem. I kind of doubt it though. Fan is still fanning. Looks good. So now I just got to get this screw out right here. And you can get this off the top, get these electrical connections disconnected, and then we should be able to get this engine out of here. Fun stuff. All right, we got our roll of tools here. Grab our Allen keys or hex keys or whatever. And of course, 5/32 is the one I need, and it is missing. So I got my other set here. Use this to take this top screw off. Yeesh. Okay, out. That washer not gonna come off? Yes, it is. That looks melted, that's fun. This should unclip right here. Hiya. Yeah. There we go. All right, so we got these, I think these are the fan wires here. Unplug them. Our glow plug is right here. We'll unplug it from the motherboard. Okay. And if we wanted, you can unplug the main power from there. Okay, our motherboard is off. It looks okay to me. Let's set that aside. Now, this, oh, this is all, I gotta undo the plate if I want to get this engine actually out of here. Okay, so that's this bloody side. Yikes! That is these nuts, and this is that plate I was talking about. So let's get those off and go from there. These nuts that hold them on are every mechanic's best friend, 10 millimeters. And of course, some ding dong put gasket maker everywhere. So that's making this super fun. Okay, got one. There we go. Sometimes the nuts will come off, sometimes the entire bolt will come out. I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason to nothing. go. 2. That one's got a lot of, give me, where am I? Get that shit out of there. All right. Last one here. They all came out as complete bolts, so that's good. All right, got the last one out there. This plate should, oh no, I gotta take this off first before that'll come off. Hang on. Obviously, this little rubber fuel connector line here. Take off this bottom hose clamp. There we go. And in theory, let's get that off. Should probably stand to replace this too. Everything old will be new again. Show me that fuel nipple. Oh, there you are, you little bastard. All right, this come off. I went ham. And this is what I'm trying to avoid. This is why I need to put it flush to the floor, so we can avoid bullshit like this. It worked for a while. So we got all our bolts. Put that over here. That there. I don't know if this is good. I'm gonna have to cut this free, this gasket. Yeah, there we go. There, that'll release the engine. Oh, Matthew. My son, what have you done? There we go. Come free. Oy, oy, oy. Hello, old friend. It's been a while. Maybe put you like this. So now what we got to do is take apart these 4, or we'll take out these 4 screws, one there, and 2 on the back side. That will separate this fan unit from the main body of the engine. Keeping in mind that I might sound like I know what I'm talking about, this is all self-taught nonsense, and it's just very trial and error. So come with me if you want to, but be warned. Okay, so yeah, take those out. Those should be the same size, which means I gotta use this one. Yes, all right, so let me get these out. Yeah, there's the last one here. These ones are annoying to take out with a tool like this because this thing ends up hitting the fan. So if you're doing this, something like this would be better. Just don't lose your 30 seconds. All right, so last bolt. Now between this and here is a gasket. Let's see how it looks. Oh. All right, so the fan is off. This is what I replaced. This came from a new unit a while back. Doesn't actually look too bad either. So we're gonna put that to the side. All right, and then, whoop, yep, there's the gasket. It looks okay to me. It's not split or cut or nothing. It wasn't fused to this. I've seen that happen. That came right off, so we're gonna keep that. Okay, and now the heart, oh yeah, and then we got 4 more bolts holding this burn chamber in here. So I gotta take those out next. We'll also have to get in here and take the glow plug out. I might start with that because you actually need a special tool. I mean, you could get away with like just a wrench, but it might take longer. And I think I have one of those close by. Just gotta pull this, push and pull this rubber filler thing out. Come here, you. Yeah, so there we go. So that's out, more or less. Let me see if I have that tool handy. This is the special little tool you need to get the glow plug out. It's on a spare glow plug as we speak. Okay. So, this bad boy, how are we gonna make this work? Let's see here. Yeah, this is the problem. This has to come up here, slip over wires, and then this little slit allows you to go over the wires and get locked onto that nut in there, like that. And then I might need some added leverage here. We'll take our handy dandy tool, stick it in the hole, and crank. There we go, no problems. So that loosened that up, and now we can just spin that glow plug. Get out of here, blue wire! Nobody asked for you. Spin the glow plug out. Ooh. Oh yeah, there's some white buildup on the tip. So we'll have to clean that up. Greasy grease all over it, so that's great. Bye-bye. Tiny home living. All right, and these screws in here are a lot shorter than the other ones I just took out, so it's not really possible to get them mixed up. So I just loosened them with the little hex key, and then just finger bombing them out. There we go, got all 4 of those out. Now, yeah, this should just come right out. Oh my God. Well, that explains why I was disgusting. That is horrible. Look at that. That is some nasty nar voodoo bullshit. Crazy. So obviously that's gonna have to get cleaned out. Okay, hang on. Before we get this shit everywhere, let's put this frickin' thing back in here. Just yikes. I don't want to deal with you right now. We're gonna get this cleaned up and make sure I don't lose any of my hardware, because all that soot and shit is gonna come out. So what do I need? Where am I gonna put these little bastards? I have nowhere. We'll just transfer them over to the other side of the cupboard. Little ones, big ones. We got our bolts for our plate. Lovely. And this glow plug, which honestly, the glow plug doesn't look too bad. All that white shit fell right off. Pretty strong little glow plug, I'm not gonna lie. Only the wires weren't. This is the new one. Ha! No wonder it looks so good. Where's the old one? Over here. Compare. Yeah. I mean, it's out. I may as well replace it, although that doesn't look too bloody bad. We'll sand that down. Might be okay. All right, anyways. Set these aside. All right, so now the reason I'm so shocked at how filthy this is inside here is because I just had this out like not too long ago. That's crazy. Whoa, knock shit around. Let me just put that down. That's some crazy buildup. And the last time I cleaned it after almost 2 years of use, it wasn't this dirty. Like, I've never seen chunks and gunk and crap like that. That's crazy to me. Because like I was saying, the last time I cleaned this, I was out at my parents'. It was earlier this year. I can't even remember. February or March. I was doing it in the back of Lucky, doors open and everything. But when I cleaned it, it was just like minor layers of stuff. Like not evenly, just like a film on the inside. And this inside this burn chamber was nothing like that. Like that is physical. That looks like growth. Like something from another planet. Yikes! So, strap myself with this headlamp from the Nebo lighting kit that my mom gave me back, I think I got last Christmas or something, because I cannot see inside this stupid burn chamber without it. I'm just gonna, ooh, that is crazy. Just nuts. Holy Dinah, look at this. I just scraped it just a little bit. Oh! I need the chimney sweep from Mary Poppins. This is ridiculous. Well, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. Or you could say it backwards, which is doshaliespiisticfragicalorupus. Darling. Don't mind me, I'm just flossing the exhaust port on my diesel heater with paper towel. No big deal. It is kind of comical, but it works. If you look right in there at the port, it looks a lot cleaner. It kind of gets the base residue off after you get all the chunks off. Because the way this is kind of working out is there's a whole bunch of dry soot chunks on it. And once you get all that sort of scraped off, there's a bit of a more, well, moist, for lack of a better word, residue on everything, and the paper towel really helps to absorb it. This is the current state of Lucky right now. Holy Dinah, like unbelievable. Also in the burn chamber over here, or whatever this part of it is, inside there is a mesh screen. And as you can see, it's quite dirty in there as well. And it was a bit of a bitch to get the mesh screen out. And obviously it didn't survive the extraction. So I'll be replacing that. And it's very important when you do put that mesh screen back in, that it goes past this little hole and doesn't cover it. But like I said, that is still filthy nasty in there. And this here was the only like wire brush bit I had left over. So obviously, gonna have to make a bit of a trip to Canadian Tire. It smells absolutely wonderful in here. You can only imagine. But I am getting things clean. Like the inside of here is looking much better. I do still want to get it polished up a bit more. You can see all my like score marks from my screwdriver, because all I have to work with is like picks and my Leatherman, and then like flathead screwdrivers to just scrape. And I mean, it worked. We got an absolute mound of shit out. Oh my gosh, I took my gloves off and I'm already filthy. So I'm gonna clean all of this up because I'm having a mild panic attack, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do. I think at this point it's a trip to Canadian Tire though. There's also a secondary gasket on the inside here that sits on top of those bolts. I got that out. It's right over here. It's also looking like it's in pretty good shape. So I am pretty hopeful that I'll be able to get this sucker working again. And my theory is that the reason this happened is because I changed my altitude settings in an attempt to save the amount of diesel I was going through. I changed my pulse rate and it all seemed to be working, and I was using a little bit less diesel. But if this is the ultimate result of that, yeah, I'm gonna go back to my normal settings that worked for over a year, almost 2. Now that's just a theory, but it's the only one I have to go with. I just ran my fingers through my hair. All the way home, I'll be warm. Oh, that is much better. Get the yuck off of you. Okay. Well, I think that's it for today for the diesel heater. I kind of blocked those holes off a little bit, just there's not a draft coming in, but it's gonna get cold in there overnight again. That's just the way it is. We'll get back at it tomorrow. I'll have to scrape off all that gasket maker that's left on the floor. And like I said, I gotta get over to Canadian Tire and find some brushes, because yuck. And hopefully, fingers crossed, well, that'll work. But for now, it's time to just sort of relax until I gotta get to Pirate Princess. However, I just had a shower and realized we are missing one very, very vital piece of bath time accoutrement. Okay, and I may have gone just a little bit overboard. So yes, I got these, and I know she'll love these because she's used them before, but then also Nickelodeon slime bath body wash, come on! And it's candy cane scented. Ho ho ho. And then I know she likes beakers and stuff, so even more bath time slime. I meant for that to happen. Whatever. You gotta take advantage of it when you have it.